Here we are, standing at the entrance of a massive cornflakes factory. Did you know that around 4 billion pounds of cornflakes are made worldwide every year? Impressive, right? You ready? Let's go. I'll walk you through everything step by step, from the very beginning all the way to how these crunchy, delicious flakes end up on your breakfast table. It all starts in the cornfields. For cornflakes, a specific type of corn is used, yellow dent corn. This variety isn't like the sweet corn we're used to eating boiled or grilled. It's starchier and contains less sugar, making it perfect for processing. The corn is harvested using massive combines that literally slice through the fields, stripping the cobs and separating the kernels. From there, it's sent to the factory. Before transportation, the corn is carefully dried to reduce moisture and preserve its quality during transit. At the factory, the kernels undergo hundreds of tests. They're checked for size, density, moisture levels, and even color. Every detail matters to create perfectly uniform and crispy flakes. And when it comes to cornflakes, the most iconic brand is still Kellogg's, which first introduced them way back in 1894. Cornflakes, like many culinary inventions, were born out of a mix of chance and experimentation. They were created by the Kellogg brothers, John Harvey Kellogg and his younger brother, Will Keith Kellogg, in the late 19th century. John Harvey Kellogg was a doctor and the director of a sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan, USA. His sanitarium followed strict principles of healthy living, offering patients a plant-based diet, physical exercise, and even some rather radical treatments, like hydrotherapy. One of John's main goals was to develop healthy and easy-to-digest food for his patients. Will Keith Kellogg, his brother, worked alongside him at the sanitarium, handling administrative tasks and helping bring his ideas to life. In 1894, John and Will were experimenting with different ways to process grains to make them easier to digest. One day, they cooked a batch of wheat dough, but accidentally left it out to dry for too long. By the time they returned, the dough had become overly dry and brittle. Curious, they decided to run it through rollers to see what would happen. To their surprise, the result was thin flakes, which they toasted to make crispy. The patients at the sanitarium loved them. Later, the brothers decided to try experimenting with corn, as it was cheaper, more widely available, and delivered even better results. And just like that, cornflakes were born. After the success of their flakes, Will Keith Kellogg saw massive business potential and wanted to sell them on a larger scale. However, John Harvey Kellogg disagreed. He viewed them solely as dietary food for patients. In 1906, Will founded the Kellogg's Company, which remains the world's largest producer of cornflakes to this day. The production scale has grown so much that Kellogg's now uses over 1.5 billion pounds of corn every year. Cornflakes became a massive hit in the US, especially among women who loved them as a quick and easy breakfast option. The original recipe was simple, just corn, salt, and a little sugar. Today's versions come in dozens of flavors and include all kinds of additional ingredients. Now here we are inside the production floor. Huge silos are filled with corn, which is gradually fed into the first stage, cleaning. Specialized machines remove debris, stones, leftover cobs, and husks. Next, the corn goes through a magnetic separator. You might be wondering, why a magnet? It's to ensure no metal fragments from harvesting or transport make it through. Once the corn is thoroughly cleaned, it's sent to giant tanks filled with hot water. Here, it cooks for several hours at around 212 degrees Fahrenheit. This softens the kernels and allows them to absorb moisture, preparing them for the next stages of processing. After boiling, the corn is moved into machines that separate the germ and the hull from the kernel. The germ, the part of the grain that's packed with oil, is removed so the flakes don't turn out too greasy. Once the kernel is cleaned, it's ready for the next step, roller processing. And here's where things get really exciting. The cleaned corn kernels are poured into specialized steel rollers that, under immense pressure, flatten each kernel into a thin sheet. These rollers spin at incredible speeds, and the entire process happens almost instantly. Watching it in real time feels like magic. Corn literally transforms into flakes right before your eyes. The flattened kernels now resemble thin, golden discs. But hold on, they're not quite the flakes you're used to eating just yet. Now we're getting to the massive ovens. This is where the flakes are dried and toasted at around 482 degrees Fahrenheit. It's here that they develop that perfect crispy texture and beautiful golden color. Imagine the smell in this room. It's like popcorn, but sweeter. At this stage, a touch of sugar, salt, or even honey is added to the flakes, depending on the recipe. For glazed flakes, they're coated with a thin layer of sugar syrup that caramelizes right in the oven. How many crunchy flakes could you eat? Fun fact, there's even a championship for speed-eating cornflakes, and the record stands at 16 ounces in just 1 minute. Crazy, right? Now watch as countless hot, crispy flakes roll off the conveyor belt. But not all of them make it into the boxes, only those that pass quality control. Special machines check their shape, thickness, and even the sound they make when they break. Seriously, that's a real quality measure. Once the flakes are ready, they're cooled and packed into bags. The machines automatically weigh each portion, seal it in foil-lined bags to keep it fresh, and place it into cardboard boxes. It takes about 3.5 ounces of corn to produce 1 box of flakes, but growing that amount of corn requires 5 gallons of water. Here's a fun throwback. In the 1980s, a British company tried selling cornflakes in cans, like soup, but the idea flopped because customers thought it looked too weird. Almost 100% of cornflake boxes are made from recycled cardboard, and the printing is done with soy-based ink. Here we are, standing next to the warehouse filled with ready-to-go products. Just imagine, these boxes of cornflakes are about to head out to every corner of the globe. They'll be breakfast for kids in the United States, snacks for students in Europe, or even a key ingredient in desserts across Asia. Fun fact, cornflakes were actually invented in the United States, but today they're a hit in over 180 countries worldwide. Modern factories take eco-friendliness to the next level. Leftover corn from processing gets repurposed as livestock feed, and the cardboard boxes? They're made from recycled materials. Oh, and here's a surprising twist. In some farming communities, cornflakes are actually used as cattle feed. Farmers discovered that cows love this stuff. Cornflakes have even made it to space. They were included in the diets of American astronauts during NASA missions. Every year, more than 6 billion servings of cornflakes are consumed worldwide. That's enough to feed the entire population of Earth breakfast for 3 weeks straight. And here's something crazy. Listen closely. If you place a magnet near cornflakes, they might actually move toward it. Why? Because cornflakes are fortified with iron, an essential nutrient for human health. Have you tried it yourself? Drop a comment and let us know what happened. Ever wondered how potatoes turn into the millions of servings of creamy mashed potatoes you enjoy every day? The secret's behind massive factories, from dirty trucks to high-tech machines that transform tons of potatoes into perfect mashed potatoes in just 30 minutes. You'd be amazed at how much technology is hidden behind such a simple dish. I bet you've never thought about what the humble potato goes through. It all starts with the potatoes. After they're harvested, they're transported to the factory by trucks and moved from containers onto special conveyor belts using loading systems. These belts are made from polyvinyl chloride and polyurethane, materials that won't damage the potatoes. The width and incline of the conveyor can be adjusted depending on how many potatoes are being processed. Standard lines can transport around 10 to 15 tons of potatoes per hour. The first stop is the initial rinse. Here, powerful water jets clean the potatoes of dirt and soil. The water used in this step is usually part of a filtration and recycling system, allowing up to 70% of the water to be reused. Eco-conscious practices like these make everything better, don't you think? After the initial rinse, the potatoes move into a brush cleaner. Here, soft but durable brushes attached to rotating cylinders spin at around 100 to 150 revolutions per minute, gently removing any remaining dirt and unwanted particles from the potato skins. The duration of this process depends on the size of the potatoes, with the average potato passing through the brush cleaner in about 15 to 20 seconds. The system automatically adjusts to apply consistent pressure, ensuring that potatoes of different sizes and shapes aren't damaged. Next comes the drying stage. This is typically done using ventilation systems. The drying speed depends on the air temperature and volume, but it usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Once the potatoes are thoroughly washed, they are transported to the peeling area. The same conveyor systems come into play, but now with soft rollers that guide the potatoes into the peeling machine. The primary technology used for peeling in large-scale production is abrasive peeling. These machines are equipped with rotating drums or rollers coated with fine-grain abrasive materials. As the potatoes rotate inside the drum, friction removes their skins. The rollers spin at about 200 to 400 revolutions per minute, ensuring the peel is removed quickly and evenly. The speed can be adjusted based on the size and type of potato being processed. The potatoes then pass through high-pressure water jets to wash away any remaining bits of skin. This water is applied with enough force to quickly and effectively remove leftover peel without the potatoes coming into contact with any hard surfaces again, which helps keep them intact. In the final stage, the potatoes are scanned by sensors and cameras. Optical sensors and high-resolution cameras scan each potato, detecting even the smallest imperfections, such as leftover skin, damaged flesh, or defects in shape or color. Any potatoes deemed unsuitable for further processing are automatically removed from the line. You know how much I appreciated mashed potatoes during my freshman year of college? Moving away and adjusting to school left me constantly sleep-deprived and, without fail, always hungry. The perfectly whipped and thoughtfully packaged mashed potatoes on the shelves of the 24-hour store near campus took care of my meal dilemmas, leaving me with more time to sleep and study. If I had known back then just how much technology went into making my typical dinner, I would have appreciated it even more. It's honestly pretty amazing. Alright, are we heading to the slicing stage? Since different types of potatoes can vary in shape and size, this step involves sorting with sensors that determine the best direction for each potato, so it enters the correct slicing block in the right orientation. For making mashed potatoes, the factory uses precision slicing machines that can cut up to 50 to 100 tons of potatoes per hour. This equipment is equipped with rotary blades, or special knives, that ensure precise and uniform cuts. The rotary blades spin at high speeds, up to 1,000 revolutions per minute, allowing the potatoes to be sliced into pieces of the specified size in just a fraction of a second. The thickness of the slices typically ranges from 0.39 to 0.59 inches, depending on production standards. This is the optimal size to ensure fast and even cooking. Optical sensors analyze the shape and size of the pieces using lasers or high-resolution cameras. Each piece is inspected as if it were in the palm of your hand. After the potatoes are sliced, the pieces are placed into automated systems that ensure they are evenly loaded into the boiling kettles. The potatoes are loaded into multi-stage cooking units, which allow for processing large quantities of raw materials. A single unit can handle up to 20 tons of potatoes per hour. The potatoes are transported to the cooking kettle using mechanical or pneumatic systems, reducing the time and effort required for manual loading. The entire boiling process takes about 30 minutes, depending on the size and type of potato. The kettles are equipped with temperature and pressure sensors to maintain precise control over the cooking conditions. The temperature is usually set between 200 and 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is optimal for achieving the right potato softness. Modern cooking systems also include automatic stirring functions to ensure even heating. Rotating paddles prevent the potatoes from sticking to the bottom of the kettle and ensure uniform cooking throughout. To maintain quality control throughout the production process, the system is equipped with moisture sensors, video, and photo analysis. The moisture sensors measure the water content in the potatoes to determine if the desired softness has been reached. If the potatoes are not soft enough, the cooking process is automatically extended. Photo analysis provides a visual inspection of the product. The cooking process is also optimized to reduce energy consumption. By using steam boilers, some facilities can reduce energy costs by 15 to 20% compared to traditional methods. Once the boiling is complete, the potatoes are automatically transferred to a conveyor belt for cooling and preparation for mashing. This cooling process takes place in specialized units that quickly lower the temperature of the potatoes to prevent overcooking. The potatoes are cooled to around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, preserving their quality before moving on to the next stage of mashing. Finally, the boiled and cooled potatoes move on to the next stage, mashing. The potatoes are automatically transferred from the cooling conveyor to mashing machines, which can process up to 5 tons of potatoes per hour. These mashing machines are programmed to adjust the speed and duration of the mashing process. The standard mashing cycle typically lasts from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the desired consistency. The blade rotation speed usually ranges from 300 to 600 revolutions per minute. Thanks to pneumatic systems, the machines automatically control pressure and speed to prevent overheating and overloading. During the mashing process, other ingredients like milk, butter, salt, and additional seasonings are added to the potatoes. The control systems precisely measure out the ingredients according to the recipe, ensuring a consistent and uniform flavor throughout the batch. The freshly whipped mashed potatoes are transferred to an automated packaging line. At this stage, the temperature of the mashed potatoes needs to be between 160 and 175 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent condensation inside the packaging, which could lead to spoilage. The mashed potatoes are typically packaged in various formats, with containers ranging in size from 1 pound to 11 pounds. The packaging machines store data on different container sizes, allowing quick adjustments to meet customer needs. The containers can be made from plastic, glass, or eco-friendly materials such as biodegradable plastic, paper, or recycled materials. The mashed potatoes are automatically dispensed into the packaging using dosing pumps, which control the exact amount of mashed potatoes for each container. Filling a standard 1 kilogram container takes about 15 seconds. The packaging line can operate at a speed of up to 1,200 containers per hour. Now that's some serious speed. The filled containers go through an automated sealing system that prevents air and bacteria from entering, which could spoil the product. Heat shrink films or tightly fitting lids are used to ensure the long-term preservation of the mashed potatoes. The system automatically monitors the seal's tightness to prevent any packaging issues. Each container is also labeled with product information, an expiration date, and nutritional facts. This is done by automated printers, ensuring the labels are clear and accurate. The labeling systems can handle up to 200 labels per minute. After packaging, the containers are automatically transferred to cooling chambers, where the temperature is maintained at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, helping to keep the mashed potatoes fresh. The cooling process takes about 1 to 2 hours before the product is ready for shipment. Do you think mayonnaise is just a simple mix of oil and eggs? What if I told you it can polish furniture and elevate your culinary creations to new heights? Today, I'll reveal the secrets behind making America's favorite mayonnaise at the Hellmann's factory and share tips that will blow your mind. Don't miss out. At this factory, thousands of pounds of mayonnaise are produced every day. But the journey to creating this popular sauce starts long before the ingredients even reach the facility. The quality of the final product is directly tied to the raw materials, which is why suppliers are carefully selected. The key components of mayonnaise are vegetable oil, egg yolks, vinegar or lemon juice, and seasonings like salt and mustard. Each of these ingredients plays a crucial role in achieving the perfect taste and texture. The first step in production is sourcing and preparing the ingredients. I watched as vegetable oil was pumped from massive storage tanks into the production area using powerful pumps. Before it's used, the oil goes through additional filtration to remove any potential impurities that may have gotten in during storage. At the same time, pasteurized egg yolks are taken out of the refrigeration units and gradually brought to room temperature. This step ensures they mix more easily with the other ingredients. Vinegar or lemon juice is carefully measured and mixed with water in the correct proportions to achieve the desired level of acidity. This mixture is then combined with salt, mustard powder, and other spices in a special tank for pre-mixing. Everything is thoroughly blended to ensure the dry ingredients are evenly distributed and completely dissolved. When all the components are ready, it's time for the magic to happen: emulsification. Emulsification is the process of combining two liquids that normally don't mix, like oil and water. This is where egg yolk proteins come in as natural emulsifiers. I was amazed by the enormous industrial blenders, known as homogenizers, used for this process. These machines are equipped with powerful mixers and temperature control systems. The process starts with loading the egg yolks into the blender, where the mixers begin spinning at an incredible speed. Then, the vinegar and spice mixture is gradually added. Once the yolks and vinegar are fully combined, the most crucial step begins: slowly adding the oil. The oil is added very slowly, in a thin stream or sprayed, while the mixers continue operating at high speed. This allows the egg yolk proteins to effectively coat the tiny droplets of oil, creating a stable emulsion. This is how the creamy smoothness we all know and love in mayonnaise is achieved. Temperature control during this process is crucial. The temperature is maintained between 68 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit using special cooling systems built into the homogenizers. Once the emulsion is ready, the mayonnaise undergoes an additional mixing stage to ensure uniformity. The mixture is pushed through tiny openings under high pressure, further reducing the size of the oil particles and enhancing the product's consistency. Next, the mayonnaise moves to real-time quality control. Automated systems take samples from the product stream and run quick tests to check for consistency, acidity levels, and appearance. This ensures that the mayonnaise meets all required standards before moving on to the next stage. After passing quality control, the mayonnaise is pumped into temporary stainless steel tanks. At this stage, additional ingredients can be added to create different variations of mayonnaise, like herbs, spices, or other flavorings. Before packaging, the mayonnaise goes through a process to remove any trapped air. Air pockets can not only affect the appearance of the product, but also speed up spoilage due to oxidation. To prevent this, the mayonnaise is placed in special vacuum chambers where all the air is gently removed from the product. Now we move on to the packaging stage, which is equally impressive in terms of technology. The factory is equipped with state-of-the-art packaging machines capable of handling various types of containers, ranging from small glass jars to plastic bottles and large containers for food service establishments. Before filling, each container undergoes thorough cleaning and sterilization. Glass jars are rinsed with hot water and dried with purified air, while plastic containers, which arrive pre-sterilized, are inspected and blown with filtered air to remove any dust particles. The mayonnaise is carefully pumped from the temporary tanks into the packaging machines. The filling process is highly precise to ensure each container receives the exact same amount of product. To prevent air bubbles from forming, the nozzle is slightly submerged in the mayonnaise and rises as the container fills. Once filled, the containers are sealed airtight. For jars and plastic containers, this involves securing lids with precise torque control to guarantee a perfect seal without damaging the container. For soft packaging, heat or ultrasonic sealing is used to ensure a secure closure. The containers are then moved to the labeling stage. Automated machines carefully apply the labels, ensuring precise alignment and no defects. Afterward, each container undergoes a final visual quality check, using high-speed cameras and machine vision systems. This ensures that the product fully meets standards before being sent to the warehouse for further shipping. During my visit to the factory, I also learned a lot of interesting things about the history of mayonnaise. It turns out that its origins date back to the 18th century. According to one popular story, in 1756, during the 7 Years' War, after defeating the British in Port Mahon on the island of Minorca, the chef of the Duke of Richelieu created a sauce made from eggs and oil to celebrate the victory. The sauce was named Mahonnaise, after the city of Mahon. Other sources claim that the sauce already existed in French cuisine and derived from the Old French word moyeu, meaning egg yolk. Either way, mayonnaise quickly gained popularity in France and then throughout Europe. In the early 20th century, with the rise of industrialization, mayonnaise began to be produced on a large scale, making it accessible to the masses and helping to spread it around the world. Now, I'd like to share a few fascinating facts about mayonnaise that really surprised me. Did you know that in Japan, mayonnaise is considered a true delicacy? The Japanese use it not only in salads but also in unexpected dishes like pizza, sushi, and even ice cream. Japanese mayonnaise, such as the popular brand Kewpie, has a richer flavor thanks to the use of rice vinegar and extra egg yolks. Mayonnaise isn't just for food. It can be a helpful household item too. It's used to remove sticker or label residue, polish wooden furniture, and even as a moisturizing hair mask. Thanks to its oil and egg white content, mayonnaise nourishes and hydrates hair. In some countries, mayonnaise is preferred over ketchup as a dipping sauce for French fries. For instance, in Belgium and the Netherlands, fries are traditionally served with mayonnaise, and this is considered a classic pairing. Mayonnaise can also improve your baking. Adding it to cake or cupcake batter makes the final product more moist and tender. This is because mayonnaise contains oil and eggs, which enhance the texture of the dough. The largest Olivier salad ever made used a massive amount of mayonnaise. In 2012, a team of chefs in Moscow set a world record by preparing a salad weighing over 4,000 pounds. They used more than a ton of mayonnaise to achieve this. After visiting the Hellmann's factory, I gained a new appreciation for this everyday sauce. From its meticulous production process to its rich history and surprising uses, mayonnaise is far more interesting than it might seem at first glance. So, the next time you spread it on your sandwich, take a moment to think about the craftsmanship behind each jar.